Hello everyone. Welcome back to my vlog. I know, I have missed me too. 2 months. And still no wrinkles. I don't see any gray hair going on. Here I got every color hair in my beard except for gray, so my intro music at the beginning just gave me life. I miss doing these vlogs. All right, so where do I begin? 2 months has gone by since I last done one of these. There's been so much going on. First and foremost, what I like to start these off with is how does med school have me feeling right now? I would say pretty good. We are about 3 weeks away from our last set of exams. We are all about gastrointestinal everything right now, so to catch everybody up, last time I spoke to you, I believe I was maybe getting ready to take exams. I'm not exactly sure what happened 2 months ago. Since that time, I have taken another set of exams. They were very difficult. Actually, they were horrible and I passed, which is wonderful. Up until 2 months ago, I'm pretty sure most of my vlogs have just been me preaching exams. Back in January, they just then allowed us to join clubs and run for those positions, so things started to feel different than just study all the time. And since then, I've been doing a lot more too. So now I'm an ambassador for my school, so I give tours on the campus to potential people interested, to admitted students. I helped out at graduation last week. I handed out diplomas for them. That was just so amazing. And all the fourth years, it almost had me crying, honestly, at one point, because they're all calling each other doctor now. It really cool to see that. And I've got to play a role in med school interviews now, so I have been having so much fun outside of this stuff. So that has been one thing going on the last few months. And then conferences. The conferences have been by far the coolest experience that I've been able to do as a medical student. So I've gone to a couple of them actually. So about a month ago, I went to Washington, D.C., so I'm part of SOMA. Essentially, they're the student governing body of osteopaths. So Student Osteopathic Medical Association. So I'm a part of that chapter at my school. So I was able to go to Washington, D.C. for the National SOMA Conference. I cannot even begin to describe how wonderful that was. At that conference, I met a ton of other students at medical schools all over the country, was able to bond and talk to them, and that was so special to me because I've kind of been in my little isolated San Antonio med school bubble. And now I know people all over the country in medical school, so that was super cool. I'm not very political personally, but going to that SOMA conference, we had a House of Delegates session where we were able to, vote on different resolutions, and oh my God, I was like a kid in a candy store there. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it as much as I did, but I loved every minute of it. It's just very moving to be able to see the impact that you can have right in front of you. Our voices were making an actual difference right here and going and affecting all of our peers, and it was just really a very special moment for me. I loved every minute of it, and I can't wait to keep doing it for another 3 years. I also attended the Texas Dermatological Society, so that is a meeting. This was the spring meeting. That was in Austin 2 weekends ago. That was equally amazing. I have never been to a dermatology conference like that. And so I met tons and tons of people. I got tons of free stuff. I networked like crazy, met a lot of really cool dermatologists, other medical students in the same boat as I am. Got to see some really cool research. Truly, I cannot wait to keep attending those conferences and keep having as much fun as I did. Okay, moving on. So like I said earlier, I have about 3 weeks until summer break. That has been both an exciting and stressful situation. There's kind of like this unspoken pressure to do the most during summer break, I think, among the med school students. Super competitive. We're all applying for the same limited opportunities. You know, everybody gets word and everybody else applies, and it's been tough. The other piece that's important to consider here is this is very realistically like one of the last breaks, long-term breaks that we ever have. So some part of me wants to like enjoy that break and kind of like rest, relax, rejuvenate, but then also I want to use that time to my advantage. I'll be honest, it's like kind of frustrating how when there's so many of us that want to do so much with it, but we just don't have the opportunity, we don't have somebody to help us, we don't really have anybody who's willing to work with us, and there's people out there that want that, but it's just limited in a lot of ways. So that's all I'm gonna say about it. But I will be doing both. I will be doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that this summer. So I have a little bit of my me time, I have a little bit of my hand on some other projects here and there. But ultimately, I have a huge opening in my summer too, so I'm just gonna go with the flow, and if something falls in my lap, something falls in my lap. So I ain't mad about it. Okay, do you guys want me to get real for a minute? I'm sitting here painting all these positives and whatnot, and while med school is wonderful and my overall experience has been a good one, there are definitely some harsh realities and tough moments of med school. Okay, so here are some more real moments it's more of the tough emotional moments that I've had the last few months. I miss my family. I have 9 people in my family. You know, I'm one of 7 brothers and sisters, and I've seen my dad and my twin brother, and I haven't seen anybody else in 3 years. Now, that is partly because of COVID and grad school and just being a broke pre-med student in my 20s. It's just kind of like multifactorial, but either or, I miss them. I miss my friends. I have friends in Illinois and Connecticut, and it's gotten to the point now where I'm starting to realize that I'm missing out on some things, and we all know this happens. As med school, we're so fully immersed, kind of life passes us by, but you know, one of my good friends back in Connecticut, she's getting married later this year, and I have to miss her wedding because of med school, and my sister just graduated radiology tech school, and that is just a momentous thing to celebrate, and I'm so proud of my sister. I just kind of had to catch the pictures later. Just my youngest brother now is 18, and I'm like, there's no more kids in my family anymore, you know? Now all of us kids are now adults, and just seeing my nieces and nephews, like my oldest nephew is now going to 6th grade, like it's just, you want to be there for all those moments, and you don't let it like eat away at you, but it kind of does anyways. On top of all this, I am broke. Every med student is broke. Like, we are all barely getting by the skin of our teeth, and that is just so annoying. I just hate being broke. It is so hard to deal with. Like, financially, you need to be financially responsible in med school. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because even the most financially responsible of us struggle with money at this point. Then the last thing just kind of like chipped away at me a little bit. I think throughout this whole school year, I have applied to 20 or so different, you know, like positions, scholarships, like research opportunities, internships, you know, president of this club, blah, blah, blah. I think I've been elected to maybe 2 of the 20 things. And you know, you put your heart and soul and blood in these applications and try to sell yourself. But that's the name of the game. When you're in med school, you're competing against your peers for some of these positions, and everybody's qualified. Most of us are well deserving, and it's just how it is. And so you have to display some perseverance. You have to have some grit. You have to have some resiliency in med school, because it started to bog me down, and you celebrate all those little wins. You know, you have to remind yourself of the good things. You have to remind yourself, you know, I have gotten a few positions. I have passed all my exams, and I may be missing some things, but I'm trying to remind myself of the positives, and you know, this is an investment in my future. So anyways, those are some of the struggles that I have been dealing with med school, and those are very, very common across most med students. Family, friends, missing out, costs, not getting things you're applying to. Every med student story, I bet. Okay, so on that note, I want to end this vlog with some very, very exciting information. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase. So my identical twin brother is moving here. He is going to move in with me and my boyfriend. I know. I am super excited for it. I know some of y'all are probably like, what? Don't even. It ain't like that. Me and my twin are very close. He's a vet. He's wonderful. He's great. He's really gonna help me. It's gonna be wonderful having some family close. So I'm really, really excited for that. So on that note, I'm gonna let you guys go. I have this really hard structures anatomy lab tomorrow over just more GI stuff that I need to really, really brush up on. Thank you for watching, guys. I will see you next week. Stay beautiful, my friends.